Hi everyone, I'm Audrey and welcome to my channel Handmade Everyday. I post videos on Saturday on this channel about sewing, and in today's video I share all about my February makes. So if it's something that's interesting for you, please stay tuned. In February, I tackled a few projects that are on my Make 9 list, and I also started sewing my module for the Great Module Sew Along Challenge. And the first garment I made is this pair of Copycat ready-to-wear jeans. I made a video all about the process on how duplicating a pair of ready-to-wear jeans by unpicking them like one leg and then copying all the pattern pieces. So if you're interested, I'll link this video, but I won't get into much detail because there's already a video all about it. It was quite an involved process, and if I have to do it again, what I would definitely change is that the waistband, I would make it in two pieces instead of making it only in one piece and folding it over. I've been wearing the jeans for a while now, and I feel like this is one part that's not fitting very well. It looks well, but there's little folds, and that's because of the fact that it's only one piece that's folded under. Other than that, I wore these jeans a ton and I really enjoyed them. Also, something interesting about this make is that I was pretty worried at some point because the fly front wasn't centered between both pockets. But then, after I looked at some pair of ready-to-wear jeans, I realized that it's never centered perfectly because of the way pants are made. The fly front is always closer to your left side because it's the one that goes over this side. And this is something that I love about making my own clothes, is that we learn so small details about jeans or about garments, and I really like that, figuring out one detail, or just the top stitching, how we now know where are the lines, typical lines of top stitching on jeans, ready-to-wear jeans. And then you can play with this and make your garments so unique, so your wardrobe becomes just a collection of unique pieces that are really tailored to your taste. I really like that. So that's for the jeans. Next, I made the Julian jacket, so check this one out. So this jacket is from Ready to Sew. It was the first time that I tried one of their patterns and I'm completely in love. Their instructions are great and the graphics are really helpful. I made a size 38 and it fits perfectly, and I like it even more that in this thick corduroy, heavyweight corduroy, it's pretty structured, and I really like that. I think it gives a little bit of a casual and vintage vibe. I really like the pockets on this. I feel like it really simplifies the make, and it's a little bit different than your typical dwell pockets, or just patch pockets, so they're this big. It's really useful. So a few things that went a little bit sideways with this pattern is that I didn't create the pleat on the outside, so the pleat is actually on the inside. I'll show you when I show you the inside of the coat, but it really doesn't change a thing for me. I really like it this way. The other thing is that the cuff, and I'll try to get closer for you to see, the cuffs don't go out of the sleeve, and on the little graphics in the instructions, it was showing that these cuffs were a little bit longer, so you could do your buttonhole there, and this wasn't overlapping this way. And that's something that I found interesting because for me that was just not happening. The cuffs were the same length as the sleeve. That's one thing that I would change. I would definitely make the cuff a little bit longer next time so that this little overlap wasn't that big, and this little opening will be a little bit more flush. So that's one thing to look for. Another thing that I didn't pay attention to, but next time I would definitely look for that, is that there's no button here at the end, and I think it would look a little bit better if there would be a button, because right now my last button goes here, and I think I would like it better if the last button would be here, between the top stitching and the edge. So that's something else I would be looking for next time I make this. Also, another interesting detail is how the finishing of the collar is so neat. I really appreciate that. The inside looks really good. I decided to use jeans buttons because I feel like it just gives a little bit more of a sturdy look, and that's what I was going for. It does make this jacket a little bit more expensive because for 6 jeans buttons I pay probably $2.50 or $3. So I don't know if you buy these in fabric shops or if you buy these online. I've read comments about these jeans buttons on Amazon, and some people say that they're pretty cheap, so I didn't know what to think. I'd like to know if you buy these in bulk or online. So I'll show you the inside of the coat now. So I did flat felt seam for the side seams, and here at the front it's pretty neat. The sleeve though, I just serged the edge, and like I was saying, this little flap is supposed to be on the outside, but for me it's on the inside because I didn't make the pleat correctly, which doesn't bother me at all. This fabric is a fabric that I've thrifted. I bought like a lot of a lady's stash that she wasn't sewing anymore, so she was like selling it for like $70, and I bought the lot, and there was this beautiful corduroy in it, and I've been like wondering what I was going to do with it. First I wanted to make a pair of Dawn jeans, and then I wanted to make a jean jacket, and then I found this jacket and I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I'm really pleased with this make, and I can see myself wearing this for a long time. Next, I made this little cardigan by Jali. It's the Charlotte cardigan. I made the crop view and I really like it. I wore it already and I wore it without a top underneath, so it was just a little cami, so I wore it closed and it was really pretty. I really like this style, but I can also wear this like open like this. The front button are optional. This is part of my module for the challenge. There's cuffs and there's a handband, and it just fits really well. I would advise that you really need to have fabric that has stretch to make this, because as you can see, the band is a little bit smaller than the body, so it really fits well. I made a size S and it fits perfectly. I made this in a ponte knit, and yeah, so it's a pretty like interesting cardigan, and as you can see, it looks pretty neat on the inside. I searched this, but this here is all enclosed and there's a nice spacing. So I really appreciate this cardigan, and I can see myself wearing this a ton. And this make is probably the most challenging project I tackled this year, and it's the Audrey jean jacket from Seamwork. I've been looking at this pattern for so long, and I bought it like probably a year ago. I was just so intimidated by all the top stitching that is required for this jacket, and it is a lot of work. I have only one sewing machine, so I have to switch thread all the time, and even if I didn't follow the instruction completely because I wanted to maximize like each change of thread, so I was trying to do as much top stitching as I could and as much sewing pieces together in one like batch, but still it's a long make, especially that there are some bar tacks with top stitching thread that are so visible, and I'm not really a big fan of like bar tacks. I feel like I don't have as much control over them as a regular stitch. So it's a very challenging make, and I'll get closer for you to see it. And I used fabric that I thrifted again. This has been in my stash for a while. I made a pair of Dawn jeans earlier with this fabric, and I fitted this jacket in less than a meter, but I had to do a little bit of tricks to make that happen. So some pieces I had to use another type of fabric. So the front, like this here, is supposed to be folded here, so that's just one piece, but I actually used another type of denim, black denim that I had in my stash. Also, these pockets are in black denim because I didn't have enough, and the undercollar is black denim as well. So there are so many pattern pieces for this pattern. As you can see, like there are so many panels in the front and the same in the back, and this little pocket is fake, it's just for the look of it. I used a jeans button as well for this one, and there's 12 buttons required, so that's a lot of hammering like little jean buttons. And here there's also a little like bar tag to hold this together. There's a hemband. I made a size 2, and if I would have to do it again, I think I would do a size 4, because I don't think I'll be wearing this just with a t-shirt. I would like to wear this with a hoodie or something underneath so it can be warmer, and I can definitely not do this with this one. And the fabric is heavyweight denim that's non-stretch, so I really have like no room to put something bigger underneath. It has really no give. I can show you the back right here. I would not say that it's a complicated make, but I would say that it's an involved make. And also you need to be extra careful when you read the instructions, because they don't mention when to use top stitching thread. So that's confusing because you really don't want to be like edge stitching or something and not use the proper thread. But there's a big blown up like picture in the front of the jacket, so you can see like, oh, like the cuffs definitely needs to be top stitched with top stitching thread, and these too, and like these seams too. So I mean, you can definitely get away with it. I'll button this and I'll talk about ease a little bit. So this pattern is not supposed to be fitted. There's 5 inches of ease at the bust and there's 13 inches of ease at the waist. I was really precise with this make. I measured all the seam allowances because I think a jacket like this with all the top stitching and all like the pattern pieces, it's the first time that I button it, so the buttonholes are a little bit stiff. But yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of like the ease. So there is a little bit of ease, but it's not phenomenal. I really like that the pockets are quite like roomy, so I highly suggest this if you're like at some point that you've been sewing for a while. I think you can really sink your teeth into this project, a project like this anyway. And jeans jackets are like, I've been around for so long. It's just a classic little jacket that you can wear and get so much wear out of. I think it's a good investment to make. I'm a little bit disappointed in the inside of it. Although I really took my time and I really tried to make it like look good. I unpicked my top stitching a lot, so there's like little bits of like yellow stitches inside, but I mean, I can totally like pick them up and clean this out. And I bought a super special fabric that is denim on the outside and that is Sherpa on the inside, and I really want to make an oversized jacket. So if I want to use this pattern, I will definitely have to cut a size bigger. Other than that, I think if you're looking for a jacket just to put over like a t-shirt or something a little lightweight, you can definitely cut your size and it will be a good fit. And my last make for February is this Dana blouse. I've been looking forward making this pattern for what feels like so long now, and I'm really pleased I made it in this woven that has a little bit of drag, but that is still a little medium weight, I would say. This fabric was originally cream and it's a polyester fabric, and I decided to dye it anyway, and I dyed it with dark green dye and it came up this lilac color, which I really like, so I'm really pleased with this. So this pattern features little bows at the cuffs and a little bow at the neck and a little bow at the waist, and this is part of my module. Really pleased with this, and there's a little button here to hold the neck, although I don't really use this one, and there's also 2 little snaps. The instruction recommend like adding a little tie on the inside, so like right here, so you would put a button on the seam allowance right here and a tie here with a buttonhole at the end, and you would just put this together so the wrap stays in place. I didn't make this because I'm lazy and I just wanted this to be finished. And there's a little detail here of like pleating and the same at the back. This is not a quick sew because there's quite a little bit of ties to assemble and turn over, but it's totally worth it. I feel like this pattern is really outside the box. This blouse is super feminine and yet super wearable, so I really appreciate that, and I think it's just adding a little bit more interest to my wardrobe that's like basically button-up shirts and jeans. And I'm so sorry, that was not my last make for February. These Robinson trousers are. So I made the Robinson trouser a lot, like in the past. I probably own like 4 to 5 pairs now. But this one, I wanted to get like a little bit more of a classy look. And this is not finished, but it was finished, but I didn't like it, so I'm changing it. I did the pin tucks at the front and at the back because I wanted to have something a little bit different. But then I kind of don't like the pin tuck in the front. I think I did it a little bit too large, and I really don't like that. So I started to unpick it, and as you can imagine, that's like torture because it's a ponte knit. So unpicking a knit and like a seam this small, that's right in front of your pants, it's so dangerous. So I happened to make a little bit of a few like little holes, but I guess that they will just like grow. So I think what I will have to do is to do like the pin tuck but on the inside, so it will just be like look like a seam, and I think I will like this better. So that's what's left to do. I only unpicked one leg so far and there's still one whole leg to do. That's the progress on these Robinson pants. And for this one I used the Parker pants by Style Arc instruction to insert the elastic, because for the Robinson trousers they do not like stitch the elastic onto the waistband, just at the sides, so you really just insert the elastic, and these elastics just tend to fold over on themselves and just roll, and I really dislike that. So I decided this time to use these instructions of the Parker, because they have you stitch the top of the elastic on the top of the waistband before folding it on under. So that's on the inside, you don't see it, it's just a lot more comfortable, so I'm really pleased with that. This is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you a lot. I plan on filming a sewing room tour in the near future, so if you'd like to see that, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out, and I will see you in the next sewing video. Bye!